Let's talk for a few minutes about infrastructure, marketing and data architectures. And really one of the founding principles behind Simon Data when I started the business was just looking at the growing divide between the capabilities around modern data infrastructure, cloud-enabled data across technologies like Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery, Snowflake and beyond. And then looking at the capabilities and really the API integrations into a lot of marketing tools, and just seeing a disconnect between the two. Maybe you can talk about how you've addressed that gap. We've talked about how you collaborate with the data team, but activating that data, making sure it can flow properly, it's in the right format, normalized properly, clean, real-time accurate in those end systems to do price drop emails and beyond. How have you thought about that? How has your architecture evolved, and where are things today?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the way architecture has evolved is Simon Data is reading the data warehouse tables from us, so it's working very closely with our data science team on getting the data in those tables in a way that we can manipulate it. So for example, we have a concert newsletter that goes out on Saturdays where our data team's just exposing the top concerts, and then our team's able to go in and manipulate that in Simon Data and say, these are the top 10 concerts in each city, and sort of send that downstream in sort of an array for our emails to then read from and just display to the user in sort of a very simple way. One of the actually, ironically, the biggest problems that the Simon Data transition solved for us was on the testing front. We could always very easily test, a subject line or copy or things like that, right? When you're sending one user one campaign, another user another campaign, seeing what the click rates or purchase rates were. That was easy. Every system can do that. Where we really struggled was more cohort testing, right? Where we're sending a cohort of X amount of users, these types of messages over a period of time, looking at these users, sending them a different set of messages over a period of time. It was very hard to match those together and look at a user over that period versus just on a campaign by campaign basis. So the way our architecture actually evolved on that side is instead of looking at just straight campaign results, when we send a campaign downstream to our email provider, Simon Data is also publishing a file to AWS that our data team then pulls down and loads into our data warehouse. And it says, these people are in this cohort, and this is what they're getting. And so what we're able to do then is label experiments and things like that in a certain way that our team is able to put a automated testing platform in place where when they see us label something as a specific type of test, it reads those results, publishes it through their whole test analysis, and just gives us the results right then and there in a very readable format where anybody in the company can go in and say, hey, I want to see how our Memorial Day test did, or hey, how did our onboarding test do, or something like that. We're looking at a user over an overall period and seeing how did a specific campaign do, as well as how did it affect users in the next week, 2 weeks, month, and so on, and really look at that user's incrementality piece overall.